This week, we talk about the Zone 2 protocol. What is it? I don't know. I'm going to find out. And we talk about what happened this week in the nutrition world, as well as point out some vegan silliness. We're also going to check in and see if I'm any less fat. Let's get into it. Oh, yeah. What's up, Dewey?
Not much. Did you have a good week?
We're going to find out if I did.
Well, you got to live your life outside of the tape measure. Did you have a good week? Did you enjoy your week with your family?
Yes, it was okay. But I tell you what, though, I'm a person who, as a binary thinker, I'm all in or all out, right? So even when we're doing this dieting thing and I know I'm going to be measured, I do obsess about it. It's just part of my addictive personality, so it does dominate my thoughts. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's just reality.
Yeah, I've heard about you people that just all or nothing. You can't moderate anything. I don't know anything about being like that, though.
By the way, here's an Oreo.
Right. One?
Just eat one. Yeah, just eat one.
No, I am binary.
Yes.
In everything I do.
Yeah, so when you've got something on your brain, you're just thinking about it 24/7, right?
It doesn't matter what it is. Could be Vikings football. If I'm in and I think they're going to be good, I can tell you what year the left tackle was born.
Right.
When I'm not, I don't watch a snap.
Right.
It's all or nothing.
Binary, in or out.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to talk about some vegan silliness and some other stuff coming up here. And before we get into the topic, I wanted to bring up one thing here. Let me find the linky link. Well, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the food pyramid. And I thought this Instagram post by Sean Baker illustrated perfectly.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I saw him when he posted that.
Yeah, it says, when the food pyramid was invented in 1974, it's vital to base your diet on cereals and breads from now on. And they're all skinny and svelte, right, and in shape. And it says obesity rates in 2020. It's vital to continue our experiment. We're on an amazing path. And just illustrates how blind we are to the realities of what's happening since the food pyramid was implemented. And Sean Baker just kind of summed that up hilariously. So I thought that was kind of silly and fun.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to somebody today, and I said, depends on what study you look at or what trends you look at. Right. There is a trend that suggests by the year 2030 that 70% of Americans will be considered overweight or obese.
And now, to clarify, what's the
they're using
we don't like the BMI,
they're
but
using
like
BMI.
The waist
40
circumference, 40 or more, which
men.
I was over 3 weeks ago, and I'm not anymore.
No, you're good. You're not.
I'm under it.
You're no longer a statistic.
Yeah.
Congrats. But they said it gets more alarming as the stat goes down because of what they're defining. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but you'll get the general idea. It was, I want to say 50% of Americans will be hyperglycemic, which
means too much
pre-diabetic.
So that's like when your A1C is too high.
A1C is too high. But I'm more of a glucose guy. So when your glucose is 118 to 125-ish.
And that's when you measure your blood when you're between meals? Fasting glucose.
Fasted glucose.
Now, to measure a fasting glucose, how long is that since your last meal could it be? Or is it supposed to
typically,
be?
when you go in, they're going to tell you supper, dinner for the people south of Fargo.
Right.
It's eat supper at a decent time and then don't eat again. And then get your labs right away in the morning.
Okay. So it's probably 12 hours, 10, 12 hours. Yep. So your fasting glucose, that's something per milliliter or something, right? And then, but the number is, you want to be under what?
Normal range for
what's a good range?
Normal range for adults is, I don't remember the low end. I think it's 45 or 50. High end's 90. Okay. I know that.
So high end of good, or the reasonable range?
And mine's like 65.
Okay. And pre-diabetic was what? Over 90? Or?
118 to 125.
Okay. And they're saying that's what a majority of Americans are going to be?
50% of Americans will be hyperglycemic in that
Yikes.
115 to 120, 118, 115 to 25. 125.
Yikes.
And half. And 35% will be full-blown type 2 diabetics.
Wow. And the consequences of that can't really be overstated how negative that is for the population. Like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, what do they call Alzheimer's now?
Type 3 diabetes.
Type 3 diabetes. So it's really a result of that condition occurring and the inflammation that occurs due to all that extra high level of glucose in the blood causes inflammation all over the body and in the brain. They call it type 3 diabetes. And that's something that has only developed in the past, since the food pyramid basically was.
Right. And they're just figuring it out. It's, to dumb it down, I guess, if you will, is the pancreas is just shooting insulin and it finally just goes, I can't keep up.
Right.
I can't keep up. Sugar wins. It's like a little war, like a little video game. And sugar has too many guys and
right.
you just run out of bullets.
And the sad thing is then you're just fueling your body against yourself
right.
by what you're putting in your mouth.
Right. And it's a paper tiger that just doesn't need to be.
Right.
It really is. It's a
preventable.
true epidemic that we're facing.
That's truly preventable.
And now we're talking about COVID and we're talking about the vaccine. It's finally here and everyone's all excited and it's finally a vaccine. Well, guess what? We've had a vaccine for type 2 diabetes forever.
Right.
It's called food.
Yeah, nobody chooses to take it.
Right. It's called real food.
Yeah, that's so funny because everybody's scrambling. There's all these wars now about priority, who gets the vaccine.
Right.
What's the priority for fighting over the vaccines and who's going to get it first and I want to get in line. And, if you just make yourself metabolically healthy, the vaccine is almost irrelevant as far as, impacts of COVID to your own personal experience.
It almost becomes insurance at that point.
Yeah.
It's a rider on your insurance ball.
I don't care if I get the vaccine, personally, because I am not afraid of COVID because of my overall health. And if everyone thought that way of just putting themselves in a position to be metabolically healthy, they wouldn't be as concerned about it either, rather than scrambling for the medicine.
100%. For me, it's no different than getting the flu shot. Mm-hmm. I'm healthy.
Right.
I'm going to get the flu. I'm probably going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm relatively fit and relatively healthy. But I'm still getting the flu shot just
Yeah.
because I don't want to get sick.
Right.
Just because I don't want to miss a day of work.
And really what matters is, the overall potential negative consequences, death, the hospitalizations, if that stuff could be avoided.
Right.
Which we're saying easily could be. And actually, while we're talking about that, I was going to bring
Anyway, I totally squirreled again.
Yep,
like
squirrel.
I usually do, squirrel.
But that's all right, because I have something on this.
My whole point was I was talking to that individual today when I started going through those stats by the year 2030, and the person went, meh, whatever. Really? You're going to meh that?
Right.
You're talking about your kids.
Yeah, exactly. Meh.
Tough hop.
Yeah. People really do not
It happens.
They don't want to change their behaviors.
No, because they think it's bad luck. What's going to be is going to be.
Speaking of COVID and the discussion about metabolic health, Dr. Paul Saladino, one of the carnivore MD, one of the guys I follow and is awesome, caught COVID, and he was still recording episodes, still working out during it. He basically just noticed he couldn't taste his steak one day.
Right.
And had almost no consequences. And this tweet I thought was really, really good. It says, COVID has brought our country to its knees, yet there is zero discussion in the mainstream media about how to correct the biggest risk factor, metabolic dysfunction. This is madness and truly tragic.
It is sad.
Yeah, that kind of sums it all up right there.
I'm not a science denier when it comes to COVID. Mm-hmm. However, I really, really, really do think that the metabolic dysfunction, the metabolic syndrome that he's talking about is far more serious of a pandemic
Oh, yeah.
than COVID.
Well, that's true. But even when it comes to COVID, none of us disagree that COVID's out there. The thing is, when I get it, I don't want to be in the hospital. I don't want to die. So if there's a way to prevent that, I want to do that. And, people are scrambling for the vaccines. Like you said, when really, if you just took control of your own health, your chances for ending up in the hospital or having massive negative consequences are dropped significantly.
Right. All metabolic dysfunction and syndrome
Right.
is what chronic disease is.
Right.
People are like, oh, I have heart disease, metabolic.
Yep.
Diabetes, metabolic, cholesterol, metabolic. Keep going.
And there's enough stuff that's going to happen to you that you can't prevent. Why would you not want to take steps to prevent the things that are easily preventable?
I said it once. I've said it a million times. Chris Tucker, no, not who's
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart said, but you don't need to help death.
Yeah, exactly.
Death is undefeated.
Exactly.
You don't need to help it,
That's right.
but we do.
That's right. So, and now everybody's talking about maybe you should wear 3 masks. Just wear the whole freaking pack.
You know what? I thought of the best ever. You remember the Saturday Night Live skit when they were making fun of the Gillette's like triple
Yes.
4 blades? They could do that with masks. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 52 masks.
And they're like, the 7 blade. The first blade removes the first layer of skin. The 7th blade starts cutting into the bone.
Right.
Yeah.
They could do that with masks.
Exactly.
Where does it end?
Yeah. I mean,
Now they said, and I don't know, I couldn't tell. I heard on the radio, I couldn't tell if it was tongue in cheek or not. I hope so, but they're talking about how Fauci said the best Super Bowl party is the party of one.
Oh, God.
And just stay home and watch it. And then the one guy goes, and wear your mask, both of them. And I don't know. He might have been dead serious.
Well, yeah. Nowadays, that might be freaking way too true.
I figured out why people wear them in their car. Because it happened to me. I forgot.
You just forgot. Yeah, I've done that.
Especially now it's cold
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yep.
it's kind of warm.
Exactly. All right. Well, enough of that ridiculousness. Let's talk about the topic for today, which is something you brought up a couple weeks ago, and a few people commented they wanted to know more about, and that is called the Zone 2 protocol. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
The Zone 2
there's
protocol?
a couple of different names. Zone 2 training, heart rate training, Zone 2 protocol, low heart rate training.
All right. So here's the website. Oh, one of them. I mean, if you search Google on this, there's a ton of websites.
Yeah.
And we'll put a couple of the good ones that we found in the show notes, of course. So if you really want to do a deep dive. But just for your average
Scroll
dummy.
down again. I want to look. It's for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one right there, October 23rd, 2020.
Yeah.
They updated it. So there's some articles I've seen where people were just starting to talk about it in 2013. But most of them, if you Google Zone 2 or low heart rate training, most of the articles are actually pretty recent.
So this is fairly a new phenomenon.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Or at least it's become popular.
I'm not an expert.
Right.
I have a nutrition coach. Yes, nutrition coaches have nutrition coaches. And he's also extremely fit.
Right.
He's ultra marathoner, does Ironman, and ran 100 miles on New Year's Day for fun.
Wow.
No, literally. He didn't sign up. He didn't have a bib or a.
Does he actually enjoy it? Does he actually think it's fun? Or is he just like, I got to do this shit?
No. No,
He loves it.
Loves it. He smiles all the time. It's not like Goggins where he's calling everybody a putty and yelling and getting mad, and he's smiling the whole time. He's worrying about his electronics staying charged.
Wow.
But he's the one that got.
I'd be worried about how do I get back home.
No, you know how you do that? You get dropped off.
So you dropped off 100 miles from
You just
home.
have to get home.
Oh, shit.
That's what I'd have. Mel do that to me when I take long rucks in the summertime. I'm like, I could go 5 out and then 5 back, and that's 10. Or you could drop me off 10 out, and I just have to drag my ass
Then
home.
you got to get back. Yeah,
Right.
that's actually good.
I have
like
a cell
that.
phone, though. Thought of calling her a couple of times.
And Uber.
Thought of calling her on my 20-miler. But anyways, yeah,
So
he turned
explain
me
for
on
the dumb guy in the room.
Well,
We were talking about basal metabolic
that's
rate.
squared today because
Right.
this is not my wheelhouse. But the problem with nutrition, not a problem. It's not a problem.
Why
at
would
all
somebody use this? That's like really dumb it down. Why would somebody do this?
to lose fat? And that's the thing is nutrition and fitness cross. The lines blur so much. It's almost like their own little Venn diagram.
Yep.
where they cross over a lot. So I wanted to start over. I'll back up. Long story longer. I wanted to run the Fargo Half Marathon.
Right.
Well,
Which got ruined.
They got canceled it.
Yeah.
Yep, they canceled it, so I couldn't. So I said, well, screw it. I'm going to go back to CrossFit because I quit CrossFit to train for the half marathon because you can't do both.
Okay.
You can't train for a race and do CrossFit 3 to 4 times a week.
Right.
Because you have to train running those days. And if you do CrossFit, if you've ever done CrossFit, you know that you're not running that day.
Yeah, you just wrecked.
Right. So I took a hiatus.
I got
from
wrecked
CrossFit.
walking into the CrossFit. Just walking in there. I think I did one box jump, and I'm like, ooh,
People
shit is hard.
people say they lose. Well, that's why people do it.
Oh, man.
Successful people
Shit is
pursue hard things.
That's right.
So
That was a tough half hour.
it's brutal. So anyways, I'm like, well, screw it. I'm going to go back to CrossFit. So I went back to my CrossFit gym, CrossFit Fargo, on my sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So I went back and I'm like, this is going to be rough, but suck it up, princess.
Yep.
Time to get back into the gym and start giving her hell.
Yeah.
Well, I get back into the gym and guess what I'm doing? Crushing it.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, all these other people at the gym must not have been kind of falling off or taking it easy. They weren't.
Right.
I caught up. And I didn't know why. So I fell ass backwards into the Zone 2 protocol. So I talked to my guy, Aaron, and I was talking to him about it. And I said, I went to the CrossFit gym and my heart rate wasn't up and I was keeping up with the kids half my age.
Because
in
you
the gym.
had been doing a bunch of running training?
Yes.
Okay.
And come to find out, it was Zone 2 protocol. And for the people who don't know what that is, there's 5 zones or 6, I forget, but they're heart rate zones. So zone 1 is like
Talking about beats per minute.
you can look it up on the internet. Google it, you'll see a million charts.
And the idea is you want to have the lowest
Zone 1
lowest-
is like 80 to 110.
while doing
That's
fairly strenuous activity.
Not even walking. 80 to, I mean,
But I mean, the lower you want your number to be lower, no matter what the activity. You want to have a lower number on the scale than someone else, than your average human. Like if somebody's running pretty fast, you want to have a lower heart rate running fast than some fat guy.
true. Confusing way to say it, but true.
I specialize in confusing
So-
ways to say it.
All right. The best way to probably explain it in my experience is, so what I did is I stumbled upon the Zone 2. Zone 2 is not the lowest, but it's the second highest. It's people often, anyone who's ever ran often has been told, for a long distance run, you want to be able to maintain a conversation. So that's your level of exertion. So if you can talk like we are now while running,
You're not suffering.
yeah.
Right.
Or the other way I like to look at it is if you can sing or if you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Right. So you're not just gasping.
Right.
Okay.
So, and if you do because a lot of people don't have heart rate monitors.
Right.
So I'll do my heart rate monitor and I'll stay, for me, it's Zone 2 protocol, which is aerobic pathway. So when I'm in Zone 2, I'm probably 125 to 140,
Okay.
give or take.
Yep.
It's hard to know. I'm trying to figure out when I switch from aerobic to anaerobic.
Right.
That's why I need that really expensive watch, Mel, because it tells me. So I stay in that zone
Right.
for 45 minutes. And as I get better, meaning my heart rate starts to go down, maintaining that same exact pace
Right.
for 45 minutes, I don't ever go faster. Ever.
Okay.
My heart rate just gets better.
So,
So
how
my
do you
heart
pick a
rate goes
speed?
down.
How do you pick a speed on your treadmill?
You just have to play.
Just the one that you can
Yep,
do where
you're
you can where
if
you're
I could-
comfortable.
Can you do this for 45 minutes?
Okay.
And not go anaerobic?
Right. So now that if you drop your heart rate after a few weeks of this or whatever, do you raise the
You have to go faster
the pace?
because you have to keep it up.
because you got to stay in that zone. So you
But
got
not above.
Right. Okay. So
Yep.
So by definition, you'll be able to run at a faster pace with less exertion.
Bingo.
Boom.
Bingo.
Here, I just summarized that shit.
You did. So, yep, no, you did. That's exactly it. So eventually the goal is where you can see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I want to be able to run a half marathon in 155 without going much over 150,
Okay.
50 beats per minute.
Gotcha.
So versus 180.
Right.
Because you know what that is? It's not good.
No.
People should not be 180, 190 for 2 hours.
Right.
So you might be dumb enough and strong enough and be able to withstand pain.
Yeah.
But you should
High
not
pain
do that.
and not healthy.
Right.
Yeah, and here's another website that details kind of the summary of what it is. So we'll put this in the show notes as well.
That's a really good. That's a really good summary.
Mm-hmm.
We can build our
zones range from 0 or at rest or sedentary up to zones 5 or 6, nearing maximum intensity or all-out effort.
No, read the 80-20 principle.
Okay, and here's the 80-20 principle for people listening, not watching on YouTube. We can build our aerobic base and become more efficient athletes by spending more time in zones 1 through 2, 80% of the time, through specific training and or by increasing our daily movement quota, topped up with small amounts of higher intensity training, the 20%. So yeah, he's saying the bulk of your time should be spent with your heart rate at a decently low zone.
And zone 2 fat loss and nutrition, my wheelhouse, is what he says there, or she. I shouldn't be so sexist, damn it. It might be a female author. Zone 2.
They're named Tracy, so I can't tell.
Flip a coin.
Yeah. Zone 2 training can help you more efficiently burn dietary fat and body fat as a fuel. Some thrive on a low-carb diet in conjunction with Zone 2 training, but it isn't required for everyone. That's just more confirmation there.
Exactly. And what that does is I was obviously in full-blown deep ketosis, and I was doing this Zone 2 protocol, and I called my coach, and I said, or texted him, I said, Aaron, I can go way longer.
Right.
I felt the fat, burning the fat, and that using fat as fuel because I was still aerobic.
Right.
And I said, can I go longer? He's like, no. That's the hardest part.
Just
is you want to just unleash. You want to just release the beast and go. And that's the CrossFit in me where I just, if I'm not laying on the floor in a puddle of my own piss in the fetal position, did I even really work out? I used to say no.
I like to spray myself so it looks like I sweated a lot.
Get a drink and breathe through your hair.
Not to squirrel, but by the way, I heard that as the perfect description of, some people buy ketones, like supplement ketones.
Yeah.
And the perfect description of why that's bullshit. He's like, it's like spraying water on yourself and saying you exercised.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. It lights up the ketone strip, but you just drank it. You didn't make it. Body didn't produce it.
Right.
Yes, I thought that was a perfect example.
It's like drinking sweat.
Exactly.
I can make sweat. Just give me a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's.
So how long have you been doing the Zone 2 protocol?
I just started week 3.
Okay. And give me your results. Like, what have you?
I posted them on Facebook the other day. I will actually pull up if you want to talk about something aimlessly.
Yeah, I want to hear about what a difference you've noticed.
Here's my heart rates. The first week I started Zone 2 protocol.
So this is doing the same 45-minute pace.
And I only made it 40 because I got too high.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't even get 45 at that pace.
Okay.
Because that pace was too fast.
Right.
So I had to stop at 40 minutes because I started peaking. I started getting up over 150.
Okay.
And you see my maximum heart rate was 155.
Okay.
So it was
right.
Cut it off.
Yep.
Done. You're anaerobic. Game over. So I did that, and I do this every
Which I hit 155 opening a can of peas the other day.
Right? See? But you're in Zone 2. Or you're anaerobic then. Slow down on the peas. Right. So anyways, I did it every other day, and I was like, wow, I must have just got lucky, because like day 2 or 3 of running, I got to 45 minutes without going anaerobic. So then the end of the first week, it's not that, my max at 45 minutes, not 40, was my max was 149. My average was 134.
So the heart rate dropping, doing the same pace for the same duration. Your heart rate was dropping.
Yep.
So that's the goal.
Same distance, same exact pace.
And
I'm still doing the same distance, the same exact pace.
So where are you at now? Like 3 weeks later.
This was 124, and this was 136.
136. So geez, you went down like almost 20 points in beats per minute in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So now, So I talked to my coach, talked to Aaron. I said, now do I get to go longer? Do I get to go faster? He goes, because you get to go longer one day.
Chomping at the bit.
Yeah. So now I did 45 last night. I'll do nothing today. I'll just lift. And then tomorrow I'll do 45. And then on Saturday I'll do 60.
60. Jesus. This is a commitment, folks.
It is.
This might not be for Joe Cubicle here. This is somebody who's serious.
It is for Joe Cubicle.
Yeah,
That's the problem. Right. It is. It's easy.
If you got that time, son.
It's mind-numbingly boring, especially if you're like a just guy that wants to or gal that wants to just get after it. It's hard. It's boring.
You're like a thoroughbred who's like trotting.
Maybe it used to be, but you're right. That's being held back.
Yeah.
But it's paying dividends. And one thing that's really unbelievable, the numbers don't lie.
The evidence is right there, yeah.
And what's amazing about it is it's working, and I'm not killing myself.
Right.
So 2 things happen there. I get bored, but I don't get stupid sore.
Yeah.
So when I take to, like I did it last night, I'll do it tomorrow. I could go right now. I feel nothing. I'm not sore. I don't feel anything.
It's not as taxing on you.
Right. And I'm sweating.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sweating really good, but.
So what do you do when are you on a treadmill usually?
Yeah.
So what do you do to entertain yourself? Listen to music or watch something on a tablet or what?
Listen to Fit and Furious. No, I'm just kidding. I do listen to podcasts though. You want to know why?
Because you don't want to get
heart rate.
Yeah, you don't want to get too pumped. You don't want to throw some Disturbed on it.
Absolutely, because I'm like
going
sick of this podcast. This is funny you say that because I switched to music, and it was kind of mellow music. It was kind of hip hop, R&B stuff, and with some pop mixed in, but it wasn't like Rammstein.
Right.
So
Rammstein.
I have that on my lifting playlist, but it was mellow stuff, and it's funny because when you go into my heart rate monitor on the app, I'm like just chill. I just laid back, one hand on the steering wheel, just chilling. And my daughter texts me, Emmy texts me, and I look on my watch, and it's her, and I'm like, whatever. Oh, what if it's an emergency?
Right.
So, because once you have a house fire like we did, you don't ever ignore a text. Ever ignore a text. So I'm like, but I don't have to stop. So I'm still running. I grab the phone. I'm fumbling with it. I'm running into the side of the treadmill. And I finally look at it. It's nothing. I put the phone right back down, and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm chilling and settle back in. But then when I went back and looked at it,
oh, your heart rate?
Yep. Just fumbling around.
Mentally. Well, just because you're out of the zone.
I wasn't thinking about breathing and breathing deep, breathing in my diaphragm. And you want to know what else?
There was probably a little bit of panic there, too.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. But you know what else? When people are like, okay, to settle your heart rate down, breathe in super deep and then let it out.
Well, it's tough to do when you're running, by the way.
You know what's more important?
What?
For me, and I know there's some science behind this, but I'm not a kinesiologist, so I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't know enough.
But you have a microphone.
Right, that's true, so I could make a bunch of shit up.
That's right.
Kill somebody.
Instant expert.
Go out and do something.
Plug this cord in, instant expert.
Right. And, well, the out, getting rid of the CO2, the exhale.
Oh.
Just getting all the garbage out.
That's just as important as breathing.
Yes.
In deep.
More important.
More important.
When I don't, push all of it out.
Okay.
And then take just a normal deep breath, but really focus on getting it all out.
Makes sense.
My heart rate drops.
Makes sense, though, because if you're getting that CO2 out, then that allows the full lung capacity of fresh oxygen to come in, too.
And it has a lot to do, and again, I'm not an endurance nerd. They can post in the comments and be endurance nerdy. But it has to do with clearing lactate and just getting all the garbage out, they call it.
More sciencey stuff.
And I was watching it, and I focused on that because what else are you going to do for 45 minutes?
Yeah, right.
So play around. Mm-hmm. Oh, I really noticed my heart rate drop. Wow. And I really cleared it out.
Wow. So how long does someone do this? I mean, is this just like your life now?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to do it until, honestly, this sounds really, really, really miserable.
Yep.
But I'm going to do it until September because that's when the Fargo Marathon is.
And how many times a week?
Well, every other day.
Wow. That's crazy. That's
every other day. And I need to get that aerobic base established.
Right. And this is for somebody,
everything else easier.
Striving for a goal.
Right.
So this is really just a level of commitment you have to try to get to this goal.
So
It makes sense though, because if you're going to run a half marathon or a marathon or any long distance like that, I mean,
be as efficient you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be efficient.
Whereas most people, 1 mile in, they're going to be, that's why they tap out. They're like, holy fuck, my heart rate is through the roof. I'm suffering. Right. You're like just striding by like, right. I got this.
Yep. And it takes dedication a long
time. I
started now. It's going to take me till September.
Oh yeah. I mean, to build that up.
And capacity. I was talking to another guy who quit running and started running recently, New Year's resolutioner. But he had run before, but he had quit for quite a while.
Yeah.
A year or two. And he started running again. He's like, I'm going to run with you. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to do this Zone 2 stuff. And then he just went, whatever. Just go run. Just go run hard. Then run harder the next day. And just keep doing that. And I'm like, I remember when I was stupid.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing, and that does not work.
And that's your instinct.
It just gets you hurt.
And that's kind of how you're wired, too. So you had to really do it purposefully and thoughtfully.
Yep.
And get some advice, like you said. And,
ask people who are super smarter than you.
Or people,
say, how do you do this?
Yeah, people that are doing it already.
Right. Don't just put the ego aside. You don't know everything.
But I got this microphone.
Right.
All right, so that's Zone 2 protocol. So we'll put the websites in the show notes. Make sure you check those out if you want to do a deeper dive.
Just Google Zone 2 protocol or Zone 2 heart rate training, and there is more results than you'll be able to get through in a month.
Exactly. All right, well, let's move on to a couple other things here. I saw kind of a funny tweet here, and I'm going to pop this up here.
You're trying to force everybody to watch.
Yeah, you go on YouTube.
And I force everybody to listen. I got a face for a radio.
Oh, come on, yeah.
While you're waiting, can I vent a little bit?
Sure, go ahead.
So we talked about Seco last week.
Calories in, calories out.
So what pops up in my Twitter feed? Oh, no, my YouTube notifications. Seco zealot king himself, Lane Norton.
Do you think it's because we were talking about it?
He must have been, because I know he listens.
You know what? I sent you a screenshot on my Facebook feed the other day because after we did our talk about Nutrisystem when we were shitting on them, my entire freaking Facebook feed is Nutrisystem.
Because you're Googling it. They're not listening.
But not even on...
Because you're searching it.
Different computer.
Do you have Google Drive?
Yeah.
They're all connected.
I know. But that's how insidious that shit is.
It is.
But now Marie Osmond is chasing my ass around the freaking internet. I mean, she looks good. What is she, like 70? She looks freaking good. I'll give her that.
Oh, yeah.
But
she doesn't do Nutrisystem.
That Nutrisystem shit. Yeah, it's just chasing me around the freaking internet now.
So anyways, to summarize...
So Seco's chasing you now.
Yeah. Lane Norton, Seco's zealot himself. He goes on this long diatribe about sugar making you fat and causing cancer and diabetes. And he's like, the study, it seems reputable, and I haven't dug into it, but, it still comes back to caloric intake and energy balance. And he goes on this long rant, and he's super rude. He's like, you're an idiot, you're an asshole, and he drops the F-bomb constantly, and just real in your face.
He's a dick about it.
Well, yeah, he thinks he's Rogan or Howard Stern. I don't know.
Wrong.
But he's just super in your face and frontal, but that's how he makes money. That's fine, whatever. Yep. I respect him for earning. Yeah.
Conflict breeds attention.
I'm watching him. Yep. Can't stand him. So, yeah, it works. But
you hate watching. Right. Last week you said you don't hate watch something. I think you hate watch that guy.
Well, but he gives me so much material. Like this. He says, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit about calories in, calories out. Sugar's okay. You can add sugar to your cereal and your coffee, and it's not going to bother you.
Cereal.
So guess what? Here's where everyone who wants confirmation bias, they hear that and they go, off.
Green light.
Good enough for me.
Green
light.
And
then they walk away.
I can eat my cereal now.
Yeah. And they stop the video. They're like, that guy rocks. Tells me exactly what I want to hear. And then they walk away.
I don't have to give up my Cocoa Puffs.
Right. Yeah, Cocoa Puffs.
My heart healthy Cheerios. Yep.
So he goes on after he loses all the confirmation bias, that demographic. Yep. Those people leave. And then what does he say? But it's worth noting.
Disclaimer.
It's worth noting that it's very important to limit added sugars.
Well,
and I'm just like, you son of a bitch.
Right. Well, not only is that huge, that should be the headline, not the disclaimer at the end.
Right.
Of the small fine print. Not only is that the main point, also, how fucking hard is it to stop putting more calories in your mouth when you have something so addictive and hyperpalatable like sugar?
Right.
So that's the whole freaking point, right?
It
The
is
satiety per calorie again.
Right. And he said all that. He said that sugar should not be a part. If you're trying to live a healthy lifestyle and you want to be healthy and live a long, productive quality of life, you should eliminate sugar.
Yeah, and he's just trying to make the point that calories is a calorie is a calorie, and we're saying
No, he's not. He's not trying to do that. He's trying to save his ass by having that disclaimer at the end.
Right,
and on the front side, he's trying to say, give me your money. Because if you give me your money, I'm going to show you how.
So
you can have six-pack like this and still eat Cocoa Puffs.
Oh,
and then when you hire him, he's going to go, no, you can't. You really thought you could?
punch her in the dick and slap the Cocoa Puffs out
Or
of
they
your
go,
hand.
you said I could eat ice cream if I hired you. You said it right in your YouTube video and on your Facebook
So he's just
page.
casting a wide net trying to get all the people that don't want to make real change.
Yep. And then the people go, you said I could have ice cream. Well, you can. Here's your thimble once every 14 days.
Right.
Enjoy it. Eat it with a toothpick. I told you can have ice cream.
Right.
I didn't lie.
Wow.
Assholes.
Assholes.
All right. I'm fired up.
All right. So if you want to hear more about the Seco thing, watch last week's episode. We talked all about that. All right. So I want to talk about, there's this whole thing out there. Okay. And normally, both of us have libertarian leanings, like, leave me the hell alone. I'll leave you the hell alone. I don't care what you do.
Build my roads, protect my borders, build my roads, police my streets, and then stay out of my life.
Right. But I don't care what other people do. Like if you want to eat 7 heads of lettuce a day, I don't give a shit.
Rock on.
Do you. I don't care. I mean, if you starve to death and your teeth fall out, whatever.
Even if they don't, if your biomarkers are flawless and your unicorns are shooting out of your ass, rock it on. Do it.
But that's your choice.
Yep.
But now let's look at this Pam Anderson tweet here, and I'll read this for the people on listen to the audio. Vegans make better lovers. The cholesterol in meat, eggs, and dairy causes hardening of the arteries and not much else. Teehee. It slows blood flow to all the body's organs, not just the heart. You can improve your overall health and increase stamina in the bedroom by going vegan. You know what I say to that?
Wrong.
You had to use that jackass, didn't you?
How freaking ridiculous is this? She's basically saying if you go vegan, your dick will work better because the cholesterol in meat causes hardening of the arteries.
Because they said it in Game Changers.
Oh my God.
So if it's in Game Changers, it has to be true.
But, okay, she can be dumb like that. I don't even care. Whatever.
She's not being dumb.
Well,
she's repeating what somebody told her.
True, but she can repeat dumb things.
Right.
And, that's fine. I don't care. When I do care is when this movement catches fire and has momentum behind it, and it's really turning into an anti-meat thing. And ultimately, meat elimination is a lot of people's goal. That's the only reason I care. Like if they would just leave us alone and say, go ahead and eat all the meat you want. Okay, fine.
But when it turns into virtue signaling.
Virtue signaling and just stuff that turns into legislation or that catches fire, or things like, have you heard of the Meatless Monday movement?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've also heard of January's Carnivore Month.
True, but Carnivore Month is not happening in schools, and Meatless Monday is.
It is?
Yeah, they I'll bring up this website here. Go Meatless Monday. It's good for you and good for the planet. Bullshit. We have delicious plant-based recipes and guides to help you implement Meatless Monday in your school, hospital, workplace, and community.
I'm. This is where my libertarian kicks in, and I want to know more.
Right.
I want to know, what is the intent? Is the intent to get kids to stop eating gummy bears and start eating apples? I'm in.
Yeah. But it's to stop eating hamburger and eating apples.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or are they just saying, we want you to eat more vegetables?
No, they want to take their regular school menu, which has meat in it, and replace it with plant-based things.
Just one day, though.
Well, right. But because their thinking is, if plants are obviously healthier than meat, so let's get everybody to do one more day of plants instead of meat.
Oh, wait a second. Who's behind this?
Well, I don't
just
know.
that org, right?
It's everywhere.
It's not an actual school doing it.
Well, I don't know. Some are. My point is it's a movement that, and this is the whole reason, it's one of the main reasons that I even contacted you to do this show is because of this kind of stuff. I want to be another voice out there
Right.
that's pro meat because we need to counteract this kind of crap.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I'm like,
I'm all for it. It's a free society.
free society. They can
do
say what they want, but we're here to say the opposite, which
Yeah.
is eat meat every fucking day.
You're right, exactly. I'd like to see, and if people would just, dieters, if they would just up their protein, dieting would be so much easier.
See, here's another guy, okay? The Impossible Foods, you've heard of that. As Sean Baker calls it, pet food, human pet food, the Impossible Burger.
If we weren't meant to eat meat, why do you have to make stuff pretend to be it?
Right, exactly. Yeah, if you're, okay, and we're going to do a whole episode, probably many episodes on vegans versus meat eaters, et cetera, but if you're a vegan and you're disgusted at the thought of killing an animal, and why would you want to have your food mimic its dead flesh? If that should be
That's a fair
disgusting
point.
to you.
That's where I go off the rails, or you and I go a different way. I'm completely behind people who do it for ethical reasons.
Well,
And I'm okay with that. If that's your belief, if you're saying living creatures and your Dalai Lama, Gandhi stuff, that's awesome. I can respect that, and I even support you. But if you try and tell me it's for nutritional, that's when I call bullshit.
well, you know what? We're going to dispel all those things, and apparently you have some learning to do on that one, because and believe me, this is a whole many hours conversation, but the ethical reasons is basically they don't want something on their plate that was killed for their benefit, right?
Well, they just don't want anything to have to die unnecessarily.
But you know what gets killed in the production of massive monocropping? A shit ton of
All sorts of
squirrels,
animals.
rabbits,
Sure.
a shit ton of animals.
But the true ethics, the
For-
people who do it for ethical
for your
reasons
food, though.
are against that too. They're against
Well, then what the hell are
production
they eating
farming.
then?
Gardening. There's not combines in a garden.
Yeah. Okay. This funny story. Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about this
Yeah,
Impossible
we're
CEO.
squirreling.
We're squirreling big time, but this Impossible Foods guy says he's dead serious about making all food animals obsolete by 2035. Well, fuck you, dude. Get out of my life.
Yeah.
Don't screw with my food supply.
And he can do that
He can make
through the private sector.
Well, he can make his human pet food
He can do whatever he wants.
shaped
Yep.
like dead animal flesh,
Yep.
and that's fine and sell it. But he's trying to squeeze out, animal foods in people's diet. He doesn't want that, and he's trying to eliminate it, and that pisses me off.
And he's not just some altruistic savior.
No, exactly.
He's trying to make money.
He wants the market share. If there's no animal foods, then I guess people, if I want a burger, I guess I got to eat an Impossible one. Well, guess what happens when you take a Whopper at Burger King, right? Already bad enough for you, but what was the only good thing on a Whopper that was good for you nutritionally? The meat patty, right? Everything
Right.
else was complete crap.
It was a version of meat.
Yeah, well, but then you take that out and you replace it with some human pet food, as Sean Baker calls it.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing good
But
about that
it's-
freaking Whopper meal.
It's all fear mongering. They're never going to get rid of meat.
Yeah,
and
and
if
this
he
guy-
thinks he's going to get rid of meat production, okay, cool, dude. Then guess what? I invite you to come join me and go through the woods in northern Minnesota the first weekend of November and wear orange because we're going to get meat.
Yep, damn right. And I'll say, like the great Charlton Heston, you'll take this ribeye from my cold dead hands. Right? Yeah.
Meat's
So
not going anywhere.
he can screw off, I say to him. But there is a whole movement that's anti-meat, which is kind of interesting. Another thing that
But the sciencey nerd in me a little bit on the nutrition side, I think it's okay. Let them explore.
if he
Just
can convince
keep digging.
if he can convince idiots to buy his human pet food, that's
Right.
good for him.
Yep.
He's going to get rich off of it. But one thing that was really a good, I just watched this last week that explains this whole thing. It's called the Sacred Cow movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it on the screen here if you're not on YouTube. This explains the whole thing. And they're pretty much anti meat production, the way it's
For sure.
being done now. Their whole thesis is that regenerative agriculture is the best thing for the earth,
Soil.
for ethically, for the soil, everything. Great movie. And it's funny because you brought up that vegans don't want to kill animals and through monocropping. And it's funny because there's an ex-vegan in this movie, and she tells a story about she was exactly like that. She said, all right, screw it, I'm going to be subsistence. I'm going to live on my garden. And then she planted a bunch of lettuce, and guess what happened?
Rabbits ate
A bunch of slugs ate it.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then she said, shit.
That's nature. Now you go eat the rabbit.
And then and then she said, shit, now what do I do? And she's like, well, one way to get rid of slugs is put out beer, and apparently they love beer, like little cups of it, and then they get in there and drink it and get drunk and then fall in and drown.
That's
so
ethical.
She put out some little cups of it, and then 3 a.m. she woke up in a cold sweat and couldn't do it, had to go out and dump the beer out because she felt so bad. And then she realized there is no way to produce food without killing living sentient beings.
For me to serve, Bill Burr says that in one of his bits. He said, I just think about it. For me to survive, my fat ass to survive every day, something needs to die.
Exactly. And whether you're eating your Impossible Whopper or 6 heads of lettuce a day or a ribeye, some type of sentient being, an animal was killed in that. So, if you think that's a good argument for veganism, you are
Wrong.
So we're going to do probably many episodes on the animal products versus veganism and plan to take down all the arguments. The nutritional one, we agree fully. The ethical one, I think we can easily prove that. There's enough evidence out there too. Health, nutrition, what's the other one? Oh, better for the environment too.
Right. Yep.
There's no way in hell monocropping that it takes to make your soybean oil, which is not good for you anyways, or your Cheerios, which are not good for you anyways. There's no way that that's better for the environment than having cows roaming on pastures and naturally completing the cycle that the earth expects.
The best crops are the ones that they spread shit on.
Exactly. I mean, just watch Sacred Cow. It really explains it all. And yes,
It
obviously they're pro, meat, animal products, obviously.
Yep.
But there's ex-vegans in there. There's, people that don't really have much of an agenda, just explaining what's going on. So with I think a lot of them are truly altruistic too. They want to do what's best for the planet and best for humans nutritionally
I think
too.
on both sides of the argument, it comes from a good place.
Yeah, I mean, I think vegans start out that way.
Yep.
This lady that's in the movie, she really did not want to have to kill something.
Yep.
But she came to the unfortunate realization that something's going to die for her to eat, and whether that's heads of lettuce or a cow, something's going to die. So then why not pick the thing that's the most healthy for you? Mm-hmm. All right, so that's Sacred Cow.
I still have yet to watch that, by the way.
Great movie. It's on Amazon, and
It is?
you got to rent it, but it's
I don't
$3,
care.
whatever.
Still should have showed up in my recommended for you. What I do, I've watched every freaking nutritional documentary on every streaming service, and that one doesn't pop up.
Oh, another really good one I watched right after Sacred Cow is there's Fat and Fat 2.
Oh.
By
I've seen Fat.
Vinny Tortorich, I think is his name, but he's kind of a low carb
Yep.
fitness trainer from the 80s. I mean,
Yeah.
he was an actor and stuff, but he was
He's good. His
and
first one was good.
His whole thing is no sugar, no grains. That's his kind of his
Yep.
tagline, which is really right along the low carb kind of thing. And he's really personally fixed a lot of people's health. But he covers the case for fat because how fat we talked about in the food pyramid thing, how fat was demonized, and he makes a case for fat being really healthy for you and definitely not damaging.
Refined processed fat is bad for you.
Right.
But it's not Lord of the Lines.
Exactly. So that's another good 2 documentaries that talk about nutrition if you're interested in this kind of stuff. So let's one thing I want to talk about too is I saw you got a delivery or you partook in the White Oak Pastures meat delivery service. So tell me about that. And that's, so people know, that is a lot of carnivore.
Sacred Cow.
Yeah, Sacred Cow.
Very regenerative.
It's regenerative.
Yep.
It's meat that's produced from a regenerative agriculture farm, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So tell me about your experience with that.
Well, it was It went really well. It was good. It was different. I expected, just
No, is this grass-fed, grass-finished?
Yep.
No grains involved, right?
Yep. This was just ground beef, just burger. But from the minute I took it out of the package, you could tell the difference.
Really?
It had that deep, dark burgundy almost color to it, not the pink, white kind of store-bought burger.
Kind of like how eggs from Hornbach
Yes.
are different from eggs that you get from somebody's farm.
Orange versus like light.
Way more nutrient packed.
Right. So, speaking of, I just got a message from the guy that got it. He wants more. Wants to get us more. But so I made a few patties and I fried them up and I just ate them because it's beef.
Right.
So I just ate it.
Yep.
Some Himalayan salt.
That's what you do.
And I ate it.
Yeah, you do.
And it was very, very clean.
Okay.
Almost venison-like.
Wow.
Without the gamey.
Okay.
It didn't have that hint of gaminess. I don't mind the gaminess in venison. I like
Yeah.
venison.
Yep.
So that doesn't bother me. But this was similar to that. Almost, I'd say like farm-raised elk in a sense too. Just really good, clean.
Right.
It didn't have like that almost skunky bitterness kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe
Yeah,
it.
no, that's great.
It was very just clean and smooth and
you just-
no aftertaste.
Your buddy ordered it for you, and you just
He
gave
ordered
him
a.
some, or-
He wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to try it, so he got some. He got.
Is
some,
it pretty expensive, like compared to your normal Hornbachers?
It's $11 a pound
Okay.
for a
Right.
burger.
So definitely a premium then.
I can go to Meats by John and Wayne and get ribeyes for less than that.
Yeah. For like $10 a pound.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So you're definitely paying a premium for a premium product.
Yep, and that
Yeah.
it.
And that's the whole argument in Sacred Cow is that this regenerative agriculture is very scalable.
Right.
And this is, and ultimately the monocropping is not going to be sustainable because the depletion of the soil, whereas regenerative agriculture keeps the soil
Right.
full of nutrients.
Yep.
So, and if more people were to do that, the cost would go down
Oh, and they're not overcropping it.
Yeah,
'Cause the cows are on it.
and that would get the cost down too, just because of the wider availability of supply and demand, all those market
Well, yeah, there's
forces.
3 farms that do
Yeah,
this.
right.
One
Or you got to get them from New Zealand or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Might be kangaroo. But I tell you, if I could make it work, if I could find investors, I would just start a farm of elk.
Elk, huh?
Yep, and do regenerative elk.
Have you
Yeah.
eaten elk?
Oh, way better than beef.
Really? I've never had it.
They have an elk ribeye at Usher's
Ooh.
in Moorhead.
Yeah.
It's elk ribeye soaked or covered in a elk bone marrow butter sauce. Oh, seriously, every bite, your eyes roll in the back of your head.
That sounds freaking delish.
Oh, it's and look at the waitress and go, I don't need the knife. Cut
Oh,
it with a
shit.
fork.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. If you get it rare or medium rare.
All right, I want to talk about
If
one
you
other
get it
thing.
more than medium rare, you ever watch Elton Brown
No.
on Food Network? Oh, Elton Brown's.
Oh, he's the guy.
He's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
sciencey
Yeah.
Science
I have seen him.
behind the
He does like the big Thanksgiving. He like MCs the whole big Thanksgiving.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
yeah,
that.
brilliant. I've gotten so many cooking tips from him. But he used to always, when he'd cook beef, he'd say, and cook it to a perfect rare or medium rare. Anything more, order chicken because you don't like beef. Period. Stop wasting beef
Right.
by cooking it medium or well.
All right, I want to talk about one product I got to, and before I do that, I'm going to talk about what I've been doing, and we'll get into my
Holy sheep shit.
if I've lost any weight and how my journey is. Okay, so I'm
Those are the 3 main ones.
42 hours in to a fast right now.
Oh, you are.
Yep. So, but one thing I noticed when I've done these like 48-hour, I try not to go over 48 hours just because I just don't feel good. And we talked about how it kind of reaches a point of diminishing returns.
Well, and if you don't really dial in the micronutrients during
Right.
a longer fast, you could get sick.
But one thing that one of the main things that I've noticed when I do the 48s is I do feel a little bit like, high or something. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
You start to, and sometimes, you can start to feel weak or whatever, but really I noticed that after doing some research, that's a function of not having electrolytes, and you need to keep those supplied. So I heard on Mind Pump, actually, they advertise this company. It's called LMNT. I assume it's Element. And I think Rob Wolf is the guy that.
Oh, okay.
He's a low carb
Oh,
guy.
yeah. Yep.
And there's like a little sample pack. It's $5 to have like 15 of these delivered, and it has sodium, potassium, and magnesium all in a little packet, and you can get them flavored or unflavored.
Sure, your three main.
Yeah, the three main electrolytes that you're going to be missing if you're doing a fast, and you just dump it into your water. It's very salty, so, and they even warn you. It says like if you put it in a 32 ounce, that's kind of salty. A 24 ounces saltier, and 12 ounces of water, it's salty AF. He says. So, I just put it in water.
That must have been Sal.
But I don't mind salty, so it was
I don't
fine.
either.
But this orange one, the citrus, I think it's called orange salt. And there's a citrus one and a raspberry one.
I got to get that.
It actually tastes good.
Even when I make
Yeah, here, you
ketosis.
try that and see what you think of it. But what I was going to say was, okay, I was 24 hours into my fast, and I worked out last night, and I mean, energy was like boom, right there. No dip in energy, none of the weirdness, none of the like otherworldly. I felt much more clear-headed and connected, and no loss of strength or anything. So, and
you did your jazzercise or whatever you do. Your Jane Fonda.
Sweating to the oldies. No, I just did dumbbell workout and some push-ups and stuff, which we'll get to in a little bit. But normally, you feel kind of. I felt sometimes you can feel kind of weak. If you're in a fast and if you don't have your electrolytes, I don't know what the term is, full or supplemented or whatever. So it did make a difference. Replenished, yeah. So it made a big difference. So I'm kind of hooked on these things now.
I got to try it because I guarantee my sodium's good, my potassium or my magnesium's good because I supplement it with pills every morning.
Right.
But I guarantee my potassium's low.
Yeah. So it was. It felt really good. So that's LMNT. I'll put the link. You can get their starter pack, sample pack, sent for $5. Just basically paying for shipping. We should just
get them to sponsor.
We should, yes. And by the way, I mean, we're sponsor whores. So if there's any vegans out there that want us to sponsor their product, I'll do it. Just give me the money.
Not the product.
For some reason, they're not coming out of the woodwork. All right, so.
Send me your carrots. No, don't.
So
too high in carbs.
I think so. We're coming up on an hour here, so I think we probably should get into.
That's it.
We should probably get into my favorite topic of the week, which is how fat is Josh? Time to see if I made any progress. Oh boy! All right. Let me bring up the tracker here, and this is another endorsement to make sure if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, check it out on YouTube because we got all the visuals here. Got my tracker spreadsheet up right now. So just to recap, I started this on January 14th. So this will be the third week in since we started taking measurements. And I will enter in my weight. So when I started, I was 194.6. And today I am 181.6, down 13 pounds in 3 weeks. Come on now. I want some. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Okay. All right, time to do the old measurings here. Okay, what are we going to do first? The caliper?
Belly fat.
All right.
When I do this, I don't even.
Oh, yeah, baby. Drink it in.
I'm going to put it this way so the crowd can't see it.
Son of a...
Toughen up.
Yeah. Dewey's not a gentle lover. He's rough. Okay. I hate that every time. So we'll check that. We'll get the caliper.
I already forgot.
Yeah, write it down. Then now what? Let's do the neck.
Neck?
Yeah, because neck is next belly on the list.
So you're not so fat belly anymore?
That's right.
16 1/4.
All right. And keep in mind some of these measurements,
Been your
maybe
hair.
yeah, probably was actually.
Just put 16.
I'm gonna put 16, yeah, because it was around my hair. All right, do the waist. I don't know if you do this above the belly button, so everybody can see.
37.
Oh shit, yeah. I was 38 last week.
Look at you go.
That's a freaking another inch off the belly, bitches.
I will find out if you're really doing dumbbells.
All right, arm.
Jazzercise.
Well, they were pink. They're the 2-pounders.
Do the soup cans?
My daughters have the little pink 1-pounder ones. They're kind of cute.
13 and a half.
Same. All right. 13 and a half. Okay, I was 13 and a half last. All right, thigh. Get in there, big
Are you
boy.
doing air squats?
No. Well, I was doing some high stepping, but
21.
all right.
Going down?
I think you measured a little
It's
lower.
the wrong direction.
I think you measured a little lower on that.
Maybe.
Whatever. I'm not too concerned
I'm gonna
about the
keep
thigh.
you-
All right, so
I need to keep that carrot out there. I'll give you a little incentive to grab it here.
calculate the
Oh, yeah.
caliper body fat percentage. That's one of the main ones I care about.
Carry the one.
So if you're watching this tracker,
How old are you again? 57?
57, yeah.
Okay.
I only feel 68. So if you're keeping track at home, I've lost 13 pounds in 3 weeks. My waist is down 4.5 inches. That's freaking phenomenal, by the way. And if I do say so myself, 4.5 inches in 3 weeks. I mean, come on. If you told somebody that you had a diet nutrition plan that could do that, this is the kind of shit that they try to promise, in Nutrisystem and all the other crap. And I'm doing it, bitches. I'm doing it.
You're no change.
30.1.
Yep.
All right. All right. So overall, in 3 weeks, I'm down 2.7% body fat from 32.8
And you're working out, though.
to 30.1. Yep. Waist inches lost total 4.5 inches in 3 weeks. That's pretty fucking
Legit.
good.
Yep.
That's legit. And down 13 pounds. So let's talk about what I'm doing. So
OMAD?
OMAD, so I'm eating supper. That works for me because it's easier for me
Keep
to hold
in mind,
out.
too, with that 37-inch measurement around your waist, you're 42 hours into a fast.
Yeah.
So you got no water stores. You got no glycogen in your body at all.
Well, let's talk about that because if all I'm doing is drinking, I drink a ton of water
You're
a
not
day.
storing it.
Right. So it's getting peed out,
It's
basically.
getting peed out because
okay.
the reason when people say you're retaining water is because you have carbohydrates.
Okay.
For every 1 gram of carbohydrate, your body restores 4 to 5 grams of water.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of the poundage
Yep.
and the waist is probably a little bit influenced by the fast. If
Yep.
I went home and chowed down on a big-ass ribeye, I know my weight would go up a pound or two.
but remember
and my
back to
waist
the
might.
but remember back to the basal metabolic rate
Yep.
and the amount of calories that you're burning just being awake and your total your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. You just need to be in a deficit of 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound.
Right.
Well, that's what, a day and a half.
Yep.
So it can add up quickly when you fast, especially if you exercise.
Right. Which I have been doing. So I want to show you. Let's let this load here.
Well, it's loading.
I'm going to
This is
get
a-
your critique on my push-ups here.
Oh, is your
Yep, I
your cocklebur hair hitting the ground?
Something cockle is. Okay, so here we're going to bring this up.
They were pink dumbbells.
Yeah, see, I told you up on the shelf there.
Hey.
That's my daughter's pink dumbbells.
I'm reminded.
I use these over here. These are the
watch
10 to 50s over here. I'm using 30s.
10 to
So
50.
come on, give me a break.
50
I don't got that
Kill
old.
it.
I don't got that old man strength yet.
kilograms. By the way, I'm reminded to let the audience know something really interesting. As soon as you opened the video and I saw you, I thought of something. Did you know that the fake
You thought this?
No. I thought, you know, the fake ultraviolet light in the tanning beds, it's fake.
Oh, yeah.
But the vitamin D is real.
Oh, okay, right.
You might want to think about maybe supplementing some vitamin D.
Jeez. He's saying I'm a pale ass bastard.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought you were wearing tights.
I'm the only guy that can hide up against a white wall and nobody's.
Why are you wearing
fully
cream?
Camouflaged.
Why are you wearing cream tights? It's
Right,
milky. And do you shave?
So everyone go to. No, I'm a hairy bastard too. I mean, you just can't see it. But everyone go to YouTube if you want to see this ridiculousness. So part of my workout plan is, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm banging out as many push-ups as I can do every morning. And that's when I started. I think we were at like 20 or something, right? Now I'm at 35.
Nice.
So that's in 3
and
weeks.
And now you want me to put my CrossFit judge hat on and.
Yeah, I want you to look at watch my form here.
Okay, you haven't hit play once. I've never seen this.
Nope.
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fully.
Okay, it's not a good angle, but
you can destroy me if you
I'll
want.
do the best I can.
Yeah, I wanted this to be real because
Okay.
what good is it? I'm only tricking myself if I'm fooling. You know? So
I'm going to be super picky.
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
All right.
Okay,
Don't cry.
All right.
Yeah, no rep. Not even close. I can still see half the wall behind
Look,
you.
my
underneath
nose.
your chest.
I got a big nose
Chest-
though. My nose is touching.
Chest to the deck.
So do you lift your head up when you're doing push-ups?
Yeah. You
Like,
have
do you
to a
tilt your
little
head
bit.
back?
Yep. Yeah, you have to a little bit. So your chest should be touching the ground.
Nobody can do that.
You want me to do it right now? I'll do 30 of them like that right now. The chest to the ground, and no other part of your body touches the ground except your chest.
Well, in my
And
defense,
the only way to do it is when you go down to ride forward.
Okay. So in my defense, though, my belly used to be bigger.
Oh.
So that was always hitting. So that's where I'm, my muscle memory goes down.
Oh, you really gave her.
Yeah. Well, to failure.
I like it.
It's to failure.
But you know what you did? You know what you weren't doing? Sitting on the couch.
Right?
So
to do those better, you're saying I need to go a little bit,
you need to get your
one
hands,
inch deeper.
hands shoulder
basically.
width,
Yep.
and
Well, what do you think about the form as far as, I suppose you really can't tell from that angle, but
yeah, but I can still tell they're too wide. You know why? 'Cause
Too
your
wide?
elbows are out like this.
Okay.
You need every elbows tucked in.
all right.
Get the elbows in because it'll save your shoulder.
So you're saying like right
Yep.
in line with
And
shoulders.
then as you're going, keep them tucked in.
Okay.
So
All right.
because when you start bat winging out is when you fuck up your shoulder.
Okay. So that's good form. All right. I need to improve my form, go down another inch or so. Yeah. Yeah. If you watch this, you'll laugh at the last couple. Oh, by the way, don't get your calculator out because when I watched this, I realized it was 34, not 35. God damn it. So I fucked up my counting when I was doing it.
At least you went back and counted.
Yeah. So
Why do you have testicles on the wall?
that's a flower light. My daughter's hung that up.
Oh, no, I feel bad.
It's a little like Daisy.
Oh, I feel bad.
But, I guess, you see what you want.
Right?
All right, so go on YouTube if you want to see that ridiculousness. So, hey, I think I'm doing pretty damn good, though.
Hell yeah, you
3
are.
weeks in,
Yeah.
inches down, pounds down. And, people...
And wait, you did this without carbs?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, like when I posted on Facebook,
You'll
the other
die
day, I
without
posted our
carbs.
episode last week and I said, watch me try to lose weight eating a bunch of artery clogging fatty meats.
Right.
'cause
Yep.
it's kind of a little bit of a poke in the eye of, that can't be done, or people thinking that, like stupid Pam Anderson, that meat's going to clog your arteries and that kind of crap. But yeah, so I'm doing it. I'm living it, baby. So that was this week in How Fat Is Josh? Wait for it. Pretty fat. Yeah, so that's it, man. So I think we're getting to, and we should talk about you're going to be doing your keto kickstart thing, right?
Oh,
You're gonna
yeah.
Start another
I'm thinking about doing it again.
boot camp.
I
How do people reach out to you?
Just find me on Facebook. That's the easiest way to do it.
How do they
Just
do?
search.
So do you have like an email address you want to put in the show notes, or
Yeah, we'll put email address in the show notes. Yeah, start with that.
Okay. Awesome. So
But most people,
What do you kind of do in that? Is it really an accountability thing? You give people advice?
No, not really. I mean, it is. It turns into an accountability thing, but more so, it's people going, I hear so many good things about keto. My fasted glucose is really shitty. How do I get this down? I don't like I cut out bread, but guess what? My glucose is still high.
And they just don't know what to do.
Just don't know where to start. And they're like, and here's the worst one of them all. I tried that. It's called Atkins. No, it's not. Stop saying that.
Right.
If you say, I tried keto when it was called Atkins, you need to do this Kickstart because that has nothing to do with it.
And that costs some money too, like $100.
Yeah, it's $99. It's 6 weeks. Do the first couple of weeks. I do a PowerPoint and I go through the kind of the origin of keto and what keto means and what your macronutrients ratios need to be. I help you download an app. I monitor the app for you. That helps you put all your calories and all your food in there, and then I help you shuffle kind of the shell game, the macronutrients around to make sure that you're getting mostly fats.
And also, if you can't find Dewey on Facebook or whatever, just send us an email, info@fitandfurious.com. We'll get you hooked up with that because you don't have to be in town, right? You could be anywhere, right?
No, people.
Because it's all remote. You do Zoom calls and stuff with people.
Zoom calls every Tuesday, and I'm trying to get. I have a bunch of people who are interested in, and the reason I say I'm thinking about doing another group is, I haven't decided on dates yet.
Right.
Because it's only $99 and it's a labor of love.
Right.
Because I
you're
love
not getting rich off the shit.
I love helping people, but guess what? It's a shit ton of work.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Right. Well, I think two points on that. Number one, the accountability piece is huge because what's kept me on the downward trend with weight and inches and everything is knowing that I'm coming in here.
And you got that little sounder even. You got to listen to that.
I got to listen to that shit. He's going to critique my push-ups. He's going to measure my waist. I know that's coming. So that keeps me from eating a lot of goddamn Oreos. I'll tell you that.
And with the keto group, I'm going to be staring at you on Zoom every Tuesday. And Tuesday's coming.
Yep. That accountability is so for people, if you know enough about yourself to know that you need that, that's huge.
Plus, when it's only $99.
Yeah.
So it equates to. I did the math. It comes to about $2.23 an hour for me. But it's not about
the cost of like five Impossible Whoppers.
Or it's right. Or it's roughly a Canada Mountain Dew a day.
Right.
So, but most importantly, it kind of offsets my time and helps me make it worth my while. But also, there's some teeth to it.
Exactly. And that was my second point besides the accountability piece. Here's to people that complain about the cost or something. Number one, Dewey's not getting rich off this shit. He's barely, he'd be better off literally working at Burger King selling Impossible Whoppers.
Right.
Flipping those.
Right. Or
whatever the hell they do to them, taking them out of the dog food bag. But if you don't have some skin in the game, and there's a, I do real estate stuff too, and there was a guy that sold courses, and he told a story about literally people would email him and give him their sob story and say, can't you just give me a course? I'm on hard times. And to a person, everyone he gave a free course to didn't do anything.
Right.
Didn't participate, didn't follow through.
Yeah.
When you have some skin in the game, your odds of, hey, like I spent some money on this, I gotta actually do something with it.
Right. Put in the effort.
Yeah. So that's, I would never give away anything for free, that, especially when it's taking that amount of hours of your time. So anybody that complains about that, you just don't get it. You don't get it.
Yeah.
So,
well, and part of the problem too is they think, and it's not just with the keto group to the keto Kickstart program. Most of the people were kind of skeptical. Some people were skeptical. Some people kind of knew what they were getting into, but a lot of people were like, wow, that was really worth it. I really, really enjoyed that. But even if it's just regular nutrition coaching, people are like, what am I paying you for?
Right. Yeah, all the shit's on the internet. I can find it myself.
Right. And they're like, you don't have to. I already did it.
Yeah.
And people say, well, I already know what to do. I just don't do it. Well, by definition, that means you don't know what to do.
Right.
Because if you did, either you
haven't figured out how to get yourself to do it.
That
you don't
means
have the knowledge
not, and that
doing
means not knowing how to do it.
Right.
not knowing what to do could mean just the behavioral approach, the behavior mod, the strategies.
There's a quote in there, I forget what it is, but something like, knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing.
Right.
I'm summarizing, but that's a quote similar to that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, I wanted to show one more thing here too.
Not the push-up video again, is it? Okay.
You know what though? I'm going to do better ones, and I'm going to show you a new video. So we got some T-shirts here too. So if you just go to furiousmerch.com, I ordered myself one of these, by the way.
Oh,
so I got a lot of meat centered shirts here on Amazon. People can buy. So check those out at furiousmerch.com if you're interested in any shirts out that would help support the show. And this hosting and all this kind of crap takes a lot of money too. So
right,
it really helps out. So another thing that would really help is if you give us a review on iTunes. Well, it's not called iTunes anymore. Apple Podcasts,
right,
Spotify, any of that stuff. YouTube comments. Get us some boosted there. We'd really appreciate it, guys. Check us out on Spotify. Make sure you watch on YouTube and throw some comments in. We really want to get some engagement, even if it's negative. Tell me my push-up game sucks ass. Make fun of Dewey if you can.
Yeah, I'll catch you.
He can't punch you from afar. So if
I wouldn't anyway.
Yeah, so we'd love to have some engagement. So get on there and definitely share the episodes and the YouTube channel and the podcast. We'd love to have some more engagement. All right, guys. Well,
and topic ideas, topics. What do you want to know? What do you want to hear about?
What do you want to know about? Exactly. We'd
exercise and nutrition.
That's right. Fitness, nutrition, diet, all that kind of craziness. Vegan. Send us vegan silliness. I love vegan silliness. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week.